Warning, this video is intended for adult collectors. It contains plastic collectibles, questionable opinions, and someone who shouldn't have disposable income. This is not a test. This is a random review.
Before we continue with the themes I have been running with, let's do something a little bit different and throw some variety into this review catch-up. Behold, Beast Wars Reissue Scorponok, available exclusively at Walmart's. Hashtag not an ad. This one is one of the ones I was curious about because my vintage Scorponok, 1, barely looks like he does in the show, and 2, loose. Oh my god, is my original one loose. So I have a minty fresh one that has been freshly made at the factory that actually caught my interest. More so than any of the other ones that just seem like inferior versions of the Beast Wars 10th figures I already have. But this one caught my eye. So let's take a look and see if he is actually worth the, shall we say, enhanced price point compared to his original release. So you can see he is a pretty big plastic scorpion. Very, very nicely rendered. Remember, it's a mid-90s toy, so is it completely accurate? No. It is far from accurate to an actual scorpion. But you know what? For what it is, I actually do really like the look of the figure itself. The coloring, dark gray, gunmetal gray all the way around with these metallic purple pincers. This is actually like a really cool rendition of the figure. Now keep in mind, the Beast Wars 10th and TJOmega lines did not have Mega reissues. They didn't have anything for the Mega size class. Only deluxes and a couple of the larger, like Optimus and Megatron, obviously. Here, we never really got the chance to see Scorponok if he was done in 10th anniversary style, and that seems to be what this figure is. It is redone in more show-accurate colors that we've never gotten to experience on this toy before. Previous to this, all the Beast Wars reissues have been mostly accurate to the originals. A couple of small variations, but nothing like glaring like this. This is a total update of the toy, and I'm actually really happy Hasbro went in this direction to give us something more akin to the reissues. So if you've been sitting on the anniversary figures for like the last 15 years, he fits right in, and that's actually a really cool thing. He has all the shortcomings that a lot of the Beast Wars toys had at the time. So the details are a little bit soft. The insect leg, or I'm sorry, arachnid legs, very, very small. Most scorpions I see have bigger legs than this. I am happy with everything else though, like the general look and colors and all that. So because these pincher arms are actually the actual robot mode arms, you do get quite a bit of play in them. They do have quite a bit of rotation and articulation, so that actually works well. Keep in mind, this is the mid-90s, so gimmicks were still the king. So this is a gimmick-loaded toy. For starters, he has that ominous-looking tail, which I can just kind of let gravity do the work, and like it lashes out like so. Or I can actually use that little use this little lever to push the tail and activate it manually. It's on like a gearing kind of accordion system to get it all pinched out. Now it barely reaches beyond Scorponok's head. It's actually very easy to sting his own face. But that is pretty much how it works. It's hard to actually get because like a real scorpion would like rear up on its legs and like have this like looming over a victim and pinched down like stabbed down like that. Tiny legs. Tiny legs that have been molded together, so no posability in those. So that's not happening. Beyond that, we have lots of spring-loaded stuff. In claw number 1, we have a pair of missiles, which will fire if I pull the claw open too far. As you can see. Okay, only one of them went off. There we go. But if we take those out, we get a fully working pinching claw. So you can actually crush your enemies if you so choose to. And why would you not crush your enemies, really? You know, Like, seriously, it's like if you're defeating your enemies and you're just not crushing them afterwards, like, you're failing. You're doing it wrong. And then there is his primary gimmick, which this switch will activate his Cyber Bee launcher. Now, this is about as hair trigger as the original toy was. They did not improve the tolerance. Now, as you can see, through all of the handling I've done in this video, it hasn't flown off. But, you know what? So maybe it's good enough, but still, be careful with it. It's going to shoot very easily. And as you can see, we do have the little Cyber Bee. It's a weird little gimmick. It's a weird little gimmick that a scorpion fires a bee. And then Polar Claw had a similar gimmick too, where he fires a bat. It's just a little tiny drone thing. And they used it effectively in the show, so it ends up working. It even has the tiny little insect legs. See? Now it can actually say insect legs, and I'm not making a mistake. And of course he has painted his little pincers, or his little like mandibles. Those are painted silver, a little bit, very angry looking eyes. Yeah, very, very nice. Very nice. It's a cute little gimmick. Okay, so, I'm going to go ahead and reattach really quick. If it will, everything will click in. Oh, that feels like it's going to go off accidentally while I do the review. Hang on a second. I got to make sure this is actually going to cooperate with me. All right. Fold up head, fold down butt. That's where I'm going wrong. I apologize for that. There we go. It still feels like it wants to fire off at any second, but at least that should hold still. All right. We'll get him transformed. Do not expect fireworks here. This is not going to take long. So, to transform him, I'm going to flip him over. I'm going to undo the legs from here. Rotate those all the way down. Let's see. Hang on. This all has to fold up. Legs will rotate past the tail like so. So, you want him in that position. Fold the feet out like that. The spiky bit is supposed to point forward. The head is actually here in the base of the tail. So go ahead and flip that out as well. Make sure this peg is facing forward because that's going to peg into the torso. And get the arms out of the way so you can actually see pegging into torso. Ding. There we go. I'm going to close up those legs. Rotate this around. There is a hinge here at the back, so we can clamp it like that. Rotate the arms down. And that's the transformation. Nothing terribly complex. They did not reinvent the wheel for this figure. Keep in mind, it was Beast Wars' first year. It was Kenner at the helm. No one was really trying to do anything too complicated here. But hey, it works, doesn't it? It gets him into the robot mode. As you can see, the proportions, very much how we remember Scorponok. Huge forearms with those gigantic pinchers that he's got. Very tiny, skinny legs. And we do have the mutant head. I guess we should just go straight into the look at the head so we can actually get to that particular thing. So, if you never saw Beast Wars before, or if you never saw like Year 1 Beast Wars, sorry for the focus, the gimmick was the mutant head. This was originally planned to be in the show, but the budget ran out, so they kind of just went with whichever head they thought was best at the time. Scorponok's mutant head is actually pretty nice. I actually don't mind the look of that. But we can open that up like so, and there is the more familiar bullet head screaming at us, as it so happens. Oh, again, they have gone the extra mile to make sure that the head does look and resemble the model in the show. It's got the right metallic sheen to it, the yellow visor. They've done a nice job here, as close as the original toy can without like super extensive repainting, kind of blurring the line between a reissue and an upgrade. And I actually kind of admire the job they did on it all the way around. Now, there's really no like secrets revealed in this mode as far as like design or anything. We saw the design in the beast mode. It's just become the chest now. The arms are basically the same. It's the back side of them now, which means all the screws are now exposed. And you can see they used to use a lot of screws to hold these toys together. So unfortunately, that's a little bit iffy. I guess in the robot mode, it makes more sense to see machine detail in there, but I kind of would have given preference to the robot mode in that case. How hard would it be to switch these arms around? Harder than I want to bother with right now, let's put it that way. But yeah, there's really no surprise to the design work. They could have done with a little bit more paint, but like I said, they're trying to like make it more accurate without adding too much to the original layout. So we'll go with it. We'll go with it as is. So I guess that just leaves the articulation. I mean, the gimmicks still, like the claw gimmicks still work. I don't have to demonstrate those again. The pincher still, like pincher, I keep calling it pincher. The scorpion tail still works, and yeah, you're gonna have to hit a taller bot with it, or bend him over, I guess, but it does still work if you actually want to attack victims with it. So that's at least nice. You can stab people to death with this toy. So, articulation-wise, the head does have a little bit of rotation. That mutant head does get in the way. If we close it up, it at least looks a little bit more normal and does get a little bit more room for the rotation. And you can have a little bit of, like, a little bit of rocking. Da-da-da-da-da. He's listening to music now. Da-da-da-da-da. Shoulders, universal. Hinge here, or swivel here, hinge here. Still works nice. We have the bicep rotation as well as one just below the elbow. The elbow is a 90-degree bend, by the way. Nothing at the waist, but we do have nice solid ball joints in the hips. I'm nice to say that for a 25-year-old mold, this actually is still working pretty well. The joints do still feel solid enough to hold everything. It does help that Scorponok never had another mass retail release in any way, just a BotCon figure. Knees get a 90-degree bend, and then if you need help with the posing, well, at least the back end is going to help and make those little minute adjustments. So nothing terribly exciting. Scorponok is admittedly a pretty simple figure, but if you're a Beast Wars fan, it's a very nice thing to actually be able to see the classic character and the classic toy in a more accurate deco. And if you're like me and you're still hanging on to your Beast Wars 10th figures, he fits right in. It's just like he's never meant to be anywhere else. So very good update, very good choice by Hasbro to release for a reissue. Really happy with how it came out. Whether it's worth the, $42 price point that they released it at, that is up to you. I will say he does feel more solid than most figures released these days. Nothing's been hollowed out, and all the gimmicks are still active. Something you can't really say on a modern Transformer. So, it's a give and take situation. I would recommend it if you missed out on the original Scorponok, need to complete your Beast Wars cast, or if you're just that curious about how a 1996 Transformer actually felt. If you see what this toy does and you still do not see where the $42 price point is, you're not going to see that by playing with it in hand. It's just always going to be on the downside for you. So that is my recommendation. Yeah, and that is the review of Scorponok. I can't help it. I still like the lug, even though yes, he's simple. But I will admit, and I know I said they were evil in the past, but I kind of missed playing with gimmicks like this. They kind of make the toys stand out from each other and make them a little bit more special. So, guilty pleasure toy, I guess. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.